Oh, hi there. It's your boy Nathan. This is a quick disclaimer to say that if you're watching this video, it's probably gardening or DIY tips. I'm not trained in any way in DIY or gardening. I have no qualifications. Everything that I know has been learned through trial and error, mistakes, and breaking things, lots of things. So please take everything you see here as just my take on how to do things, not the recognized or industry standard way of doing things. So if you do attempt anything that I do here at home, you do it at your own risk, and I take no responsibility for your myriad of mess ups. Thanks. Bye now. Hey everyday DIYers, we have a special bulletin. Perhaps you'll remember this clip from my last video. It does kill me a little bit on the inside that I've had to dig up my lawn, but I've put a lot of work into the lawn over the last few years, and it's no big secret that I'm very protective of it. So when I came home yesterday and found this, as you can imagine, I was more than just a little bit annoyed. But it gets worse. What the... Oh my god. I then went on to discover this. What's happened? And this. The first thought was dogs. Perhaps linesmen, because we've got a couple of pylons going through the land. Or even horses. At some point we even considered sheep, but none of those dig in such localized areas so deep. And then this. Pigs. It didn't make any sense at the time because, well, why would it? But upon further investigation, somebody's pigs had escaped, found their way onto my plot. I'm a lot less angry than I was, but anger isn't going to solve the problem, is it? So, what do you do when pigs tear up your lawn? As you can imagine, this is the first time I've dealt with this problem. Probably be the first time you've dealt with this problem as well. The plan of attack, if it stops raining, is to get as much of the grass, the turf to one side, rake the soil nice and flat, like plant it back to where it was, try and get it as nice and level as possible. Challenges are going to be the depth of which the pigs have dug down to, the clods of earth on the bottom of the turf, try and clear as much of those out of the way, try and get that ground level again. Long-term problems, but that's going to be a bare patch of ground for the next couple of months probably. So we'll give it a hack and see what we can do about it. So the grass looks pretty close to the roots anyway, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just literally lifting these out and then putting them to one side over here, and then we can assess how much turmoil they've done to the ground. Luckily, it does look like they've just literally lifted it up like a rug and peeled it back. Huh. Ironic. Okay, worth noting, there's a couple of little sections in here. One I've already pulled up, one that's left over here. Little islands where the turf is still attached. I'm going to lift these up anyway, because I want a nice even finish across this entire section before I put them back down. It's a sacrifice that's going to have to be made. Tell you one thing, I'm getting very bored of rain. So a quick update, whilst I catch my breath, dry off a little. Managed to get the majority of the turf out of the middle, and I have lined it up across here. Flipped it upside down because I'm putting it against the gravel. I don't want all the soil to get mixed in there, because that's a pain in the bum to get rid of. So that's all the turf to one side. That is the patch, the first patch of grass. I still have that to sort out. Nice and cleared and ready to be raked if it stops raining, because raking whilst it's raining is just like stirring soup with a fork. My main focus will be the front of the house, and then maybe just a quick rake out the back. So it's probably going to take me a good couple of hours, especially in this weather. I don't think I'm going to bother with the stuff in the back because luckily it was just on the periphery of where the lawn starts. So where they were digging was mostly in the leaf litter and just at the very, very edges. It's going to be completely pointless to flatten. Well, why do it now when it's raining? There's a simple answer to that. Between working a full-time job and childcare, I have only a few hours here and there to actually do projects like this. The longer I leave it, the more likely the grass is to die. Plus, if you keep pushing these kind of jobs to one side and then to a side again, the soil itself is going to start to compact around those big lumps, and the grass will start naturally taking back over that area, and then it'll become a right problem to try and get back underneath there and then rake it out. So you're better off doing it straight away whilst the ground is soft, whilst the grass is still alive. These kind of problems, they get worse when you leave them. Besides, nobody died from working out in the rain. Nice and raked. That was the easy bit. Now time to transplant its new hairdo. Worth noting that I just flopped the grass over on the borders back on itself. I was toying with the idea of cutting it and making it nice and even, but then I realised that these aren't nice and even, so there would be zero point in doing that. So I'll just flop that back over, and then we'll have somewhere to work. It's a bit like a hairy jigsaw. What I'm doing is I'm starting off with a larger part, and then slapping those down, and then I'll use the smaller bits then to fill in the gaps between them. Okay, quick pro tip. As you're going along and you're placing down your wads of grass, should this ever happen to you, just gently brush back so you can see the earth edge of your actual turf. That way when you chuck down the next bit, you're not chucking that on a load of grass that's just bent over onto the ground. When that dies back or it gets cut, you've got a nice slim section of earth there that you didn't think was there because all your grass was brushed over it like that, and you thought that that was your edge of your section of turf. So nice brush back so you can just see where your actual margins are, and always have a little bit of an overlap for the same reason on the bit that you're chucking down. So the operation was a success. It ain't pretty, but all the turf is back down. Still missing a bit towards the back. Ideally, what you want to do after this, if it wasn't absolutely chucking it down, is to get some soil and just to brush it over the top. Just gently brush it over to the top, just to level it all out. You know, every other week, brush a little bit more on, and you'll eventually start to get that nice and level, using either a thick bristle brush or a very fine rake, like a leaf rake or something like that. As far as challenges went, again, with digging in this plot of land, it's going to be uncovering big chunky rocks and bits of scrap metal for some reason, which I'm always finding around here. As I said, the rain doesn't help. Probably did even more damage to the grass that wasn't ruined by the fact that I've been trampling on it. Incidentally, I didn't use the spade, just the rake in this one. So, thanks for watching. If you thought this video was useful, or you've got a friend who's in a similar situation, feel free to share it. And if you like and subscribe, it helps the channel out. And I'll probably do an update video later on, just to show you how that section's getting on. Thanks again for watching. Bye. Look, of course I'm not angry at the pigs. It's not like they picked me out on purpose. You know, it's like a force of nature. Can't get mad, it's not going to change anything.